So Lexi, here's the thing that I'm really excited about. So I had this conversation with Lexi. We've been sharing stories of how people have come into my life since I moved here in Albuquerque. And here is really the impression that Lexi made for me. Is the first thing that she told me is that what she's loud and proud about, and I love that expression, loud and proud about, is about being a millennial. And I think that's really exciting. And as somebody who's been in marketing for 20 years, she made a really good point about why are we not having millennials talk to millennials about social media. So really that was the thing that really did it for me. Now I will tell you what kind of happened though, is I asked her to be on the panel, to be able to talk about that one topic. And every time I ran into her, which was like literally everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
I would run into her and I would say, hey, what do you think about this? And then she would tell me something about that. And she would talk about, and then we got talking about Snapchat, and then we got talking about analytics, about Facebook Live, and then we got talking about Instagram. And finally I said, you know what, we just can't have you be on the panel. I need to have you be a speaker, and let's talk about that. So really, it went from this 15 minutes to being a full-fledged speaker, and I really love about that. So that's the first thing I really think that we should share with our audience is, what do you want to say to millennials, and really to the people who are not millennials, about what they should take into consideration when they're talking to millennials?
It's really interesting, you know, there's a lot of people who have tried to understand millennials kind of as like, we're this foreign creature, but really it's about communicating with each other efficiently and listening to the people who you're selling to, whether that's a millennial or a baby boomer. It's really just hearing their side of the story, hearing their opinion, and taking that into consideration. One thing I think I was talking to you about this over lunch is my mom always told me that you should consider everything feedback, whether that's negative, positive, or neutral. So, you know, if somebody's responding to what you're putting out, whether it's, you know, on traditional media or digital, take that into consideration.
Absolutely. I think that's really, really important. And she does such a great job about that. I'm really, really excited for everybody to really hear her and see her at Social Media ABQ, because I think she's really going to touch on those things. So let's talk about some of the things you're going to talk about. So you're going to talk about Instagram, you're going to talk about Snapchat, and you're going to talk about Facebook Live analytics, right? Those are pretty much. And she's going to do all that in 30 minutes. So we're going to tell you that she's really, really good at that too. And I'm going to tell you, I've got the overview. I'm super excited. Can't wait to hear now.
I'm really excited to tell everybody.
So let's kind of tell everybody a couple things. Why should they be at this conference? And specifically, why do they need to listen to what you have to say?
Well, I think I'm pretty fun to listen to. Just kidding. But you know, there's a lot of stuff that, you know, that isn't in a lot of the articles, and you know, there's engagement, there's analytics, and there's all the things that these social media sites give you. But what do those really mean? I mean, there's a difference in just impressions on a video, and there's, you know, there's impressions on a video, and then there's how many people actually saw the message that you were portraying. And you know, what I did was, I'm really into the analytical side of social media more than just the posting. So I actually helped sort of foster a formula to be able to tell you your exact ROI on those videos. So are people watching them all the way through? Are they watching the call to action? Why are they? Why aren't they? And sort of things that you can learn from that. Snapchat, you know, there's a lot of stuff with Snapchat, and then with the Facebook Live and the Instagram Live, you know, there's a lot of this sort of rough waters. I know that some people haven't really been able to use it. Thankfully, again, using that as sort of a way to communicate with my friends back home. I know a lot about that and how to use that for your social media. And same with Instagram. You know, there's a lot of really cool things you can do with Instagram and Snapchat that can help kind of portray your business in a specific way. So just going to be touching on that and giving you guys some key takeaways.
Which I think is really awesome, because we all need that, right? I know for me, as a business owner and as somebody who's really built their business on collaboration, I'm always talking about ROI. But here's the thing, ROI, return on investment, it's really kind of hard sometimes with social media to quantify it. Really, what I like to say is my formula is really ROI is return on influence.
Yeah.
Really, what is the influence that you have in digital media? So I think that that's really, really important.
Yeah.
So let's touch on that. What do you think about that? Influence.
Well, you know, it's hard to say exactly. Well, you can sort of calculate how much is going into your social media, but influence is really, really important. I mean, brand impressions and everything like that.
Exactly.
Just to have people understand your brand and see that over somebody else's is going to give your brand a little more pull than somebody who isn't necessarily on social media. So it's, you know, another thing is it's really important for small businesses to have this.
I think so too. I think it's really important because, having the right type of influence and having relationships with influencers is really, really so important, because not only are you trying to quantify those likes and claps and all those different things, but the reality really is having relationships with influencers also helps you to know which strategic partners are going to say yes, who really is going to be looking at your products and services, and who is going to sign up as a promotional partner to actually help you to get the word out. So all those things are important too. So whether it's return on influence or return on investment, they need to be at this conference.
Exactly.